This is a very interesting question, which is the topic of, does the average and the ordinary Muslim have to adopt a madhab from the madhahib, a school of thought, from the schools of thought that exist in the realms of Islamic studies, and more specifically the science of fiqh, such as the Hanafis and the Shafi'is, the Malikis and the Hanbalis. You have to pick a madhab from amongst those madhahib and follow that and stick to it. And the reality is that to adopt one and that you stick to it in all of your affairs is not something that is mandatory or mandated and obligated upon us. And it may not even be permissible in the context of this average and ordinary Muslim, as he would have no understanding, or is assumed that he doesn't have the depth of actually understanding the intricacies of what goes into play with regards to these madhahib and the formation of it, and how they discuss these different issues that come up in the science of fiqh, from the categorizations of it and so on. And so if he was to adopt it, then that may sometimes even lead to a misapplication of various issues where he assumes that this is the stance, but because he hasn't studied it in a manner that a student of knowledge would, or a scholar would have learnt it, he may end up misapplying and misunderstanding aspects of what he deems to be or a particular view in a madhab. The deeper question, however, really is that what was the wisdom and the purpose of the existence and the coming about of these madhahib, these different schools of thought to begin with? And the reality of it is that it used to serve the purpose of it being a syllabus whereby an individual would go and learn the different aspects of the science of fiqh, and with studying this particular syllabus he would graduate from that and become qualified, or viewed as a qualified individual, to serve the Muslim community in certain capacities, such as becoming a qadi, a judge, or a mufti, somebody that passes individual legal verdicts and so on. And so the purpose of these madhahib in essence were to serve that purpose, which is to help students of knowledge understand the framework of fiqh and the individual topics that are discussed there in light of a particular school of thought, so that he can make or he can have a deep understanding of these issues, and then go on to study the difference of opinion that occur between the different scholars within those issues that he now understands at a basic level. That was the purpose of it. But it wasn't really created or brought into existence to simply act upon, that you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based upon a certain madhab, and that you do things based upon a certain madhab, and that you basically base all of your acts of worship based upon a certain view of a scholar of Islam. You take everything that he commands with, and you reject everything from everybody else. That wasn't the way that these madhahib came into existence. In essence, it was to serve the purpose of education and to simplify how the science is studied and learned, to try and make it easier to generate a group of students that would then be qualified to carry out and serve the Muslim community in the different capacities that it so deeply requires. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.